Hello everyone, this is Fantasy-esque and welcome back to Vampire Clan in ClanGen, the Warrior Cats clan generated game. When we left off in the previous episode, we had a very exciting time because our clan welcomed in a litter of 3 vampire kittens who are currently 1 moon old and playing in the nursery. We're going to take a closer look at them in a second. That aside, we also had a new match made between... where is he? He's hanging around in the Medicine Cat Den, the Nightstalker Hazel Pelt, and Quiet Flight, who is down by the Warrior's Den. Next to Lightsong, who she hates, and next to their joint former mentor, Twilight Fade. So this is kind of interesting. Now, I want to take a look, obviously, at the kittens, who have opened up their eyes to see how they look, but also, we do have some drama that has started in the clan, or I suppose some drama that is continuing, some drama general, okay, that we need to take a look at. Okay, first up, I want to see my kittens. Look at how adorable they look. So we have Alkit, who is the favorite of her mother, Blue Jay. She has retained her self-conscious personality, but she is a moss ball hunter. Look at those pretty green eyes. Then we have her brother, Sunny Kit, who has retained his skittish personality, but he is quick to make peace. That actually makes sense. He gets very easily nervous by things, and he wants to be as, like, non-aggressive and non-threatening as possible. So he's opened up his cobalt eyes, and then we have Fire Kit, who has also retained her noisy personality, and she's confident with words. And she is her father's favorite, and she has the cobalt eyes as well. And I think and you can see like more of the white that she had as a newborn, which I couldn't really, it was in a descriptor, but I couldn't really see much except for maybe like a dot on her, was it her chest? But it's really nice to see it in a bit more detail as she's getting older. But I think, guys, hands down, my favorite out of the 3 would have to be Fire Kit. There's something about her coat. You guys know I'm a sucker for single stripe, but also those blue eyes on her. It looks so pretty, and it's a bit of a contrast between like the red tail, you know, red and blue. It's a bit of a contrast, and I kind of like that. Makes it very, very interesting. It's funny that her personality is noisy right now because I feel like she has a very noisy appearance, like a very loud color scheme going on. Whereas Alkit, who's self-conscious, she almost blends in. And even if you, look at them, if we go to camp and you look at the kittens, well, I suppose it's leaf full now. By the way, it's moon 18, but it is leaf full, so there are times when I think Fire Kit is going to blend into the leaves when she's hanging around near the trees. But with her sister, Alkit, she does blend into a lot of the steps and muddy areas. The one cat that I feel like stands out is their brother. Their skittish brother, Sunny Kit, is the one who actually stands out quite a bit. Just because he's a little bit lighter than, you know, the other 2, and he's more golden. We don't really have much of a golden tone to the ruins, at least not right now. When the seasons change, he might blend in a little bit more, and then Fire Kit's gonna stand out. But okay, let's go straight to events and see the drama. Actually, let's stop by the Leader's Den. So we are currently neutral with Day Clan. We're still hostile with Wind Clan and Gossamer Clan. And this neutrality might not last too long, but we have drama. So let's check out the drama. The battles between Day Clan and Vampire Clan have ceased. The war now finally coming to an end, so we do have peace, guys. We are no longer fighting, we're no longer at war with the vampire hunters. And, I mean, they've been talking about peace for a long time. We even tried to have some negotiations which failed, but I suppose, in the end, both clans decided, or the vampire hunters decided, that it was too much trouble to keep chasing us. And then something I did not expect. Blue Jay and Master Burnleaf had a huge fight and broke up. And I have no clue what this fight is about. We need to check the timeline for when they broke up in their relationships. We're also going to go ahead and see their relationship with the Whisper. to see who has the least amount, and we'll say that's the cat that initiated the breakup. But we know that Blue Jay and Quiet Flight have been getting along quite a bit. We also know that Burnleaf, I think in the last episode, finally moved on from his first love, Pumpkin Tail. And he was actually being really protective and attentive to Blue Jay and the kittens. But also, it's probably good to note that Burnleaf didn't, like, he wasn't actually in love with Blue Jay, and I don't think he still is, and Blue Jay is not in love with him either. Now, I know I keep saying, like, match for the cats, which, yes, they start off as a formal match, but I'm actually thinking that once they become friends or fall in love, I'll consider them like mates, because it's emotional now. It's no longer just a formality. So obviously these two, they were mates, because I think they were both friends with one another when they had their kids. But we'll have to check up again on their relationship and see what's going on, because I don't know what the argument could have been about. Like, was it an argument about maybe Blue Jay felt as though Burnleaf was feeling obligated towards her and the kids because he wasn't actually in love with her, but he felt the need to be a father figure and a mate figure. It could be the fact that Blue Jay maybe got very emotional seeing that Quiet Flight was being matched up, and in a way Quiet Flight was getting a chance to move on. I don't know, we'll have to piece it together. But okay, Twilight Fade travels to Wind Clan to resolve some recent herb gathering disputes. However, no progress was made. Okay. Let's check up on the Medicine Cat Den. Blue Jay was given juniper as treatment for recovering from birth, and that's the other thing. What was serious enough for them to break up literally when she's still recovering from birth? Especially, as one of you guys pointed out, I think Vornell, he was saying that Burnleaf is so sweet, he's a very attentive mate. And yes, he is. He's very protective this time around. And even with Pumpkin Tail, when she was getting sick, and even before that when she had a sprain, he was actually a very attentive mate. So I feel bad for him. Hazel Pelt could not find any herbs this moon. Let's go to the relationships and try and decode this. Blue Jay is prancing around in front of Burnleaf. And then they broke up, like straight after that. Oh my goodness. Okay, I think what this is, maybe the first theory we had, where Blue Jay has obviously been making an effort with Burnleaf as well. But I feel like Blue Jay is the type of cat who wants her affection returned to her. And maybe Burnleaf being obligated and doing his part is not enough. She wants his emotional involvement, and maybe she kind of was prancing around, but she wasn't getting any response from Burnleaf, and she kind of sensed that, you know what, I know you have moved on from Pumpkin Tail and your first love, but you are not in love with me, and you are just doing things out of a sense of duty, not because you yourself want to. Now, yes, he might want to carry out his duty and be there for them. But I think Blue Jay, the whole reason she turned to Quiet Flight in the first place was because she wanted an emotional connection with someone. And she wasn't getting that with Burnleaf. So I think that's really what it is. Which is so sad and unfortunate, because I actually really liked the two of them together. And I liked their little family. Okay, Master Burnleaf suspects that Quiet Flight gets special treatment. And I think this special treatment is probably in relation to Blue Jay. I think Burnleaf, after the breakup, is maybe feeling a little bit resentful, and he is thinking that Blue Jay wouldn't have reacted that way to Quiet Flight's attention, but for some reason, maybe he can't understand why what he's doing isn't enough, and why Blue Jay is reacting that way. Dusty Paw gave Master Burnleaf a gift that doesn't make sense. Oh, Dusty Paw. Maybe he sensed that Burnleaf was not feeling too good, and she just wanted to cheer him up. Twilight Fade compliments Hazel Pelt on his catch during a hunting patrol, which causes him to purr. Hold on a second. Twilight Fade actually hasn't been having a lot of love drama ever since Pumpkin Tail died. Is he onto, like, Hazel Pelt now? I don't know. Funny thing with Twilight Fade, he started liking Master Burnleaf after Burnleaf became matched. And now it seems as though he is onto Hazel Pelt when Hazel Pelt's getting matched. What is it with Twilight Fade and cats getting matched? Or it might be that Hazel Pelt is reacting to Twilight Fade's compliment and Twilight Fade didn't actually mean it that way. I don't know. We'll have to check the relationships. Twilight Fade explains what a joke means to Quiet Flight, so former mentor and fledgling spending time with each other bonding. Grandmaster Shivering Star notices that Light Song made other clanmates laugh more than he does. Alkit follows through on a small promise made with Grandmaster Shivering Star. Light Song and Sunny Kit accidentally startle one another. Quiet Flight and Master Burnleaf spend the morning telling interesting stories. Okay, so maybe Quiet Flight felt the need to kind of air out their grievances with Burnleaf, and Burnleaf was able to maybe process his emotions a little bit better, like overnight after the breakup, and realize that, you know, it's not really Quiet Flight's fault the way that Blue Jay is reacting. Because Quiet Flight hasn't really done anything on her end to necessarily egg Blue Jay on. Hazel Pelt always tends to Dusty Paw last. Hazel Pelt and Light Song talk about what they see in the clouds. Dusty Paw is sparring with Twilight Fade. Dusty Paw surprises Alkit with something nice. Sunny Kid sticks his tongue out at Blue Jay. And Fire Kid thinks Hazel Pelt is annoying. Okay, so that's what we have for events. Let me cut the recording here and we'll continue with the cat list. Okay guys, it is time for us to go through the cat list and figure out what the hell happened between Burnleaf and Blue Jay. Now, first up, we have loyalties where nothing has changed, so we don't have to go over anything here, but before we dive into some of the changes I have noticed for the relationships, I quickly want to jump over to Twilight Fade the Whisper just to check between Burnleaf and Blue Jay who has the lower relationship, because that's going to set the tone for, you know, why they broke up. So I've already had a sneak peek. And guys, I was surprised. So Burnleaf has less romance than Blue Jay. Blue Jay has 2 whole bars, whereas Burnleaf has like a smidge of 1 bar. So this kind of turned everything on its head, because I was putting out my theory from the viewpoint that Blue Jay was the one who broke up. But from the looks of it, it's Burnleaf. Burnleaf broke up with her, and I was trying to work out like why this might be the case, and I think Blue Jay maybe was like calling out Burnleaf, as we already discussed about him doing things out of obligation, but that wasn't good enough for her, and she wanted to know whether he would ever love her, even if it's not now. Can he see himself loving her in the future? And Burnleaf was maybe coming up with all these arguments about, you know, why does that even matter? I'll be here, I'll always provide for you and the kids. And, you know, obviously that broke up in a huge argument, and Blue Jay said that I don't want you to provide for me and the kids. I want to know if you're ever going to, you know, be able to love me, because that's important to me, and emotional connection is important with my mate. And Burnleaf said, fine, no, if you want to really know, no, I don't see myself ever being able to love you. I can be your friend, but I can't be anything more. And if, you know, you can't deal with that, then I don't see the point in us being together. And Blue Jay said, like, really? Is that really how you feel? Because I'm telling you now, like, that's important to me, and I can't deal with that. And Burnleaf, he said, fine, let's break up. That's it. We're breaking up. And so he broke up with her. Dawn, Blue Jay! I feel so bad for you. I was here feeling bad for Burnleaf, but apparently I had it all wrong. But yeah, guys, I think that's probably how it went down between the 2 cats over here. So now we can go ahead and take a look at the relationships to see what I've noticed. So the first thing I noticed was obviously between Burnleaf and Blue Jay. So he had a huge romance loss with Blue Jay, because unfortunately, even though he still considers her a friend, he couldn't give her the answer that she wanted. And we can kind of see that he has 2.5 bars with Twilight Fade. And, you know, this is not something new. This is something he's had for a while now, lingering feelings that he's had for Twilight Fade. But I suppose for Burnleaf, you know, when he was put into all these dangerous situations, of Blue Jay kind of being confronted by vampire hunters beforehand, he was worried, but I don't think his worry was from a I can't imagine life for that Blue Jay point of view. It was more I don't want to deprive my kids of their mother point of view. But in terms of his love life, like a second love, for him Twilight Fade is probably more plausible as a cat that he could like, you know, see himself in love with. And I guess he decided that he would stick firmly to that. He wasn't really going to lie to Blue Jay. So that was the first thing I noticed. The second change was with Hazelpelt. So Hazelpelt actually had a romance gain for Twilight Fade. Hazelpelt was currently matched up with Quiet Flight. Now, Twilight Fade, I think, is the one who initiated that particular interaction where he complimented Hazelpelt on the hunt, and Hazelpelt, you know, kind of purred at the compliment. Hazelpelt basically, I think for the first time, noticed Twilight Fade in that way. They were a little bit flirtatious. And again, because his match with Quiet Flight is formal, there's kind of nothing wrong with him pursuing a romance with another cat, up until he starts considering Quiet Flight his actual mate. If he and Quiet Flight becomes friends or fall in love, then I'll consider them mates. Up until that point, they're simply going to be a match to one another. And in that case, obviously it's not good for them to be romantically distracted by other cats, but right now, one's formal and, you know, one is maybe a bit more romantic. So there is that. The next thing I noticed was, I think, with Twilight Fade. So Twilight Fade has also had a romance gain for Hazelpelt. He's got almost 2 bars for Hazelpelt. So that was most definitely something he initiated, and I don't know what it is about Twilight Fade and his grumpy self. Maybe it's the fact that he's the Whisper, and he actually sees these mated males being really attentive or caring towards their partners, and he starts falling in love with them. I don't know. He had the same thing with Burnleaf, and now he's having the same thing with Hazelpelt, which is very, very fascinating to me. And then the last one was, I think, between a Blue Jay and Burnleaf. So she obviously had a romance lost with Burnleaf, but even if you compare, like, her romance with Burnleaf and her romance with Quiet Flight, she actually has more romance with Burnleaf. So I think Blue Jay was actually really putting her feelings and her effort into Burnleaf, especially after he moved on from Pumpkin Tail. I think initially Blue Jay, knowing his position and the situation in which they were matched up, never really expected anything from him, and so she started hoping for things from Quiet Flight. But after she was protected by Burnleaf and defended by him, and he moved on from his first love, she kind of thought maybe she had a chance to really make this work with Burnleaf. And I don't think she's the type of cat that maybe is coy or can wait, and when she asked him up front, he was so startled, he didn't know how to answer, and when she was adamant as to, you know, what his answer was, he kind of exploded and ended up breaking off the relationship. Oh, that makes me so sad. But okay, that is what we have. Yes, that's all I had for the relationships. Now let's go ahead and visit Twilight Fade the Whisper under the ruins, so that we can do we can have Hazelpelt and Quiet Flight listen to the whispers. So hopefully these guys have, a better session than the huge breakup between Burnleaf and Blue Jay. Okay, look at that. Respect, platonic like, romance, comfort has increased, jealousy and dislike have decreased. Hazelpelt has very quickly become Quiet Flight's friend, which is very good to see, whereas Quiet Flight is still still considers it a formal match. So I feel as though maybe both cats need to either be friends or fall in love, both cats need to have green bars for me to consider them to be mates. If it's only one cat, they're still going to be considered as a match. It's still formal, because both cats have to be agreeable. So right now, they're still considered just a match, and it's still just a formal arrangement, because Quiet Flight is still a little bit hesitant. But it's good to see that both cats, as they're spending more time with each other, are liking each other more and more for their future litter. So that's really good. It also tells me that Quiet Flight and Hazelpelt are more focused on this right now than they are focused on other romances they might have. So okay, that was good for us. Now let's go ahead and actually see what everyone's doing for the day. And Dustypaw, it is Dustypaw's 11th moon, guys. That means next episode she's going to become a young adult. She's going to be a Mistwalker. Wow. Wow. Okay, let's start off with Grandmaster Shivering Star. He can't keep up with Sunny Kit. Okay. Master Burnleaf is crushing leaves under his paws, so he's actually helping out at the medicine cat den to distract himself from the breakup. Maybe so that he'll feel less guilty because Blue Jay is recovering from her birth at the medicine cat den, and we know how Burnleaf is very tied to his duty towards the family, and even if he's broken up with Blue Jay, maybe he feels as though he still has to help her recover from her birth, and he still needs to provide in some sense. Could also be, the added guilt of the breakup. So he's busy helping Hazelpelt prepare, poultices and stuff for her to make her feel better. Hazelpelt saw a kitty pet rolling around a two-leg garden. Twilight Fade wants to get to know Dustypaw better. Blue Jay worries about the lack of prey Leafbear will bring. Quiet Flight feels happy knowing she's someone others can talk to. Oh, that's so sweet. That's so nice, because she and Burnleaf had the little chat session or talk session where they were able to work out some of Burnleaf's maybe resentment towards her, his envy, and maybe his confusion about why Blue Jay was reacting a certain way towards him. Maybe he understood Blue Jay a little bit better after talking to Quiet Flight as well and his own feelings. So that's good to know. And then obviously Quiet Flight is getting along quite well with Hazelpelt. I love the idea that Hazelpelt tells Quiet Flight about all of his adventures and all of the unique and interesting things he comes across out on his patrols at night. And Quiet Flight loves talking, so she's constantly asking him questions and maybe telling him to look out for something or see if he can investigate this area or, what his opinion is on that pretty spot she found. So I really like the idea that they have this, very robust exchange between the two of them. Lightsong is not looking forward to the sparse hunting in Leafbear. So wait, Lightsong and... Okay, no, it's not entirely the same. Okay. Dustypaw dreams of someday making her clan proud. Oh, Dustypaw. Of course you're gonna make the clan proud. You're already making the clan proud by getting through apprenticeship, safely. If you become a Mistwalker and get your title of princess, I'm just gonna be happy. I'm gonna be happy just from that. Okay, Alkid wants to have fun. Sunny Kit leaps into a pile of fallen leaves. And Fire Kit wonders what Blue Jay is up to. And that's really cute. So Fire Kit is wondering what her mother's doing. Maybe she is being attentive and, she's a noisy cat, but she noticed her parents making a whole lot of noise and she didn't feel like it was a fun kind of noise. It was a more angry kind of noise, and now she's very curious about how her mother's doing. But okay, that's all we have for the cat list, so let me cut the recording here and we'll continue with patrols. Okay, time for us to continue with our patrols. So let's go ahead and see. We currently have 34.5 prey. We need 21.5, so we don't have to worry about food. We'll send out Hazelpelt, our Nightstalker, first off to see what he gets up to. Hazelpelt heads out on a herb gathering patrol, searching for the evergreen, ever-reliable horsetail to harvest for the herb stores. Proceed. As a plant that grows without losing any of its green and Leafbear, while also having a crucial herbal use in stopping blood loss, horsetail is a welcome sight in any well-stocked medicine cat den. Hazelpelt is delighted to notice moss growing nearby, too, and stops to gather a hefty bundle. The clan can never have too much moss. So moss and horsetail were gathered, which is nice, and then we have a patrol of 5. with Dusty Paw, Light Song, Quiet Flight, Master Burnleaf, and Grandmaster Shivering Star, who's sticking very close to his apprentice. So let's see how Dusty Paw's final patrol goes. There's a spring in their steps as the cats head out. Today looks like a good day for hunting. Proceed. The hunting is easy and the company is good. That spring is still just as present in their steps as the patrol heads back to camp, though perhaps the amount of prey they're all carrying makes it harder to see. A huge amount of prey is brought to camp. Now we have, oh my goodness, 98.5. That was a wildly successful final patrol. And you know, I am very thankful and very happy that Dusty Paw had a very safe and easy time going through her fledglinghood, right? Her being a fledgling was not a too difficult thing, even though she grew up in a time of war. I think she grew up in, with the clan involved in 2 separate wars, but she never had a scary incident. Her life was never really in danger, and she grew up happy and healthy, and that makes me so delighted for her, especially because I feel as though her sister was completely robbed of her life, and at least Dusty Paw has managed to do well, you know? So okay guys, with that said and done, I am going to leave off here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.